So today we are taking Omnisphere, which is our flagship synth, to the next level with Omnisphere 1.5. Because what we're doing is we're expanding the synthesis features of what's already one of the most powerful synths in the world, and we're making it better sounding, a lot more interactive. There's some really cool interactive stuff I'm going to show you, and easier to use too. The most innovative new feature in Omnisphere 1.5 is called the Orb. And I'm going to give you a taste of what that looks like right here. But I'm not going to show it to you yet, because if I do, you won't be able to hear anything else I'm saying because it's too cool. All right, so it's very interesting. So I'll show you that a little later. We've also added a lot of requested features that people have asked for. Like one of the things that people ask for is to be able to see more attributes in the browser. So this is the standard view that you're probably familiar with if you have Omnisphere. And if you've got all your categories here, you have to scroll quite a bit, right? So just to see, like a lot of people don't even know there's traditional sounds because it starts with T. And so it's hidden. So we have a new 5-column view, so you can see all of the categories, and it's a whole lot easier to get around on. It's very helpful when you have a large library like you have in Omnisphere, which is even getting larger in 1.5 because we're adding tons and tons of new patches. And we're actually taking the library over 5,000 patches included. And the total number of sounds in Omnisphere is now over 8,000. So that is a lot of sounds, especially when you consider that 2 years ago we started with 800 patches. So just in 2 years, this thing's just growing and growing like crazy. Omnisphere is really the best of both worlds, where you have an awesome library and it's a sound designer's dream. It's actually both things. So I'm going to play some of the sounds from 1.5. I can't play all of them because there's, zillions of them. Not literally, but there's a lot. So I'll play you a couple just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. And check this out here. Another thing that's a little more film oriented. Let's add a little bit of that's all one Omnisphere. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, so that's just a little teeny bit of some of the cool sounds that come with Omnisphere 1.5. And let's take a look at some of the new synthesis features. We'll start with Harmonia. Now, Harmonia is a feature that you can add up to 10 oscillators per patch. So you can get these huge, thick sounds, and it's really easy to use, especially because we have a new Harmonia Zoom page. This makes a big difference in being able to see everything at the same time instead of having to go to multiple pages. So we'll take a sound like this. I'm going to start with a super basic sawtooth wave here. Let's add a couple more oscillators to it. So it sounded nice and fat. And then now what we can do in 1.5 is we can modulate each one of these oscillators independently. And so I'm just very quickly assigning an LFO to each one. And check out what a difference this makes in the richness of the sound. And that whole thing came from this, right? I just made that just that fast, and there's a huge difference in the sound. Okay, let's take a look at some of the stuff you can do with the new Waveshaping. This is great if you want to go super extreme and just radically mangle your sounds. We've got a new Waveshaper zoom, and we've got a crusher and a reducer. Okay, so let's take sine wave, just a real simple sine wave here, and then let's put the crusher on there. Okay, that's pretty extreme. And then the sample rate reducer, we can go even further with it. And we can animate that. So all kinds of weird distortion stuff. And it's interesting, especially because you can modulate it. So we'll go ahead and put an envelope on the crusher and an envelope on the sample rate reducer. And now we've got something like this. Okay, and that all came from just like that, really very, very fast. So no tricks up the sleeve. All right, so let's take a look at Granular. A lot of people don't understand what granular synthesis is, but in a nutshell, you're taking a sound and you're splitting it up into thousands of little tiny grains, and then we move those grains around in all kinds of interesting ways. And this is a really powerful way to create sounds. It's like pointillism would be in painting. So granular synthesis is very powerful, but it's hard to understand sometimes what the parameters do. So we have a new granular zoom, and this is real interesting because you can see, if you take a look at this interface here, you can see what the parameters are actually doing with this visualizer in the center. So we'll go ahead and take, actually, how many of you guys know what an Easter egg is? Right? An Easter egg, you have Easter eggs in DVDs and games and stuff. There's an Easter egg in Trillion that has our friend Dr. B. Serious talking about all of our products, and you guys have to find out where it is. But this is what it sounds like.
You need Omnisphere to travel the dimensions. You need RMX so that you can take the X factor out of your track so that you know that you have something that's a hit.
Okay, so anyway, so that's what we're going to use as a source, and this will give you an idea of what you can do with the granular synthesis. So we'll go ahead and take that and check this out.
You need
So all of that is happening in real time. Well, thank you. And so I mean, it's useful for much more than just sound effects too. Let's take, for example, this South American cavaqueño. Here's without the granular synthesis, just regular. Okay, and let's try what we can do with the granular on here. We'll go ahead and turn it on. And what I can create is a bunch of interesting tremolo kinds of things just using the same sound. So check this out. came from just that one sound. All right, so now let's get into something that is super cool. And I'm going to go ahead and just start from scratch here, show you guys what is possible with our new Omni TR iPad app. And this is really cool. What TR stands for is touch remote. And the whole concept is, you know how like people are always arguing about hardware synths versus software synths, you know? Well, one of the advantages of hardware synths that's undeniable is the feel. You know, you have a hands-on feel with a hardware synth that you don't have with a software synth. Omni TR bridges that gap because now we're now living in an era where we can finally touch our software instruments and interact with them. And so that's what this is all about. It's all performance oriented, and it's really, really interesting what you can do. I'm going to build something. Here's the interface for Omni TR. This is the main page. And I can select sounds. I can mix sounds. And I can also latch and trigger things. I can also browse. So I'm actually browsing Omnisphere right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise something. I'm going to create something. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. But let's see what it's like. So I'm just going to put a bunch of sounds together, and we'll check it out. Okay. All right, I'm going to start with this. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'll go ahead and latch that. So now that's in sync. Now I'm going to browse something else. So let's try Red Bull bass driver. See what that's like. Level down a little bit. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try Wavetable Dancer, see what that's like. Okay, nice. Let's try something else here. I could solo anything, right? All right, let's add something else. Let's try, let's see what this does. Some psychoacoustic stuff. Pads here. These two together. So I did all that in real time, right? That was just all happening live. So you can interact with Omnisphere in a whole, completely different way. And you notice I didn't touch the computer at all. right? I did all of that just completely live. So much fun to use that. And then there's also other pages. We have the controls page where we can add like delay, more reverb, or we also have a bender. Change cutoff and resonance. So it's a really neat interface. You also have the jumbo mode for those of us who are losing our eyesight. Excellent. Anywhere if you're on stage, you can see the names very easily. And of course, I can select multiple sounds. It's multi-touch. So any combinations of things, and that's why this is so rich, so I can just combine. Okay, but I haven't talked about, remember what the coolest feature of Omnisphere 1.5? The orb. So let's talk about the orb. The orb is something brand new that no other synthesizer has. It's a circular controller that intelligently analyzes the sound in real time and creates variations that are musical. And it's easiest just to see it because it's hard to explain. But it's very, very cool because it works with every patch you already have. Like you don't have to set anything up. So as you can see, when I move, it moves on both. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So here's our original sound. Okay, so we got a nice kind of pulsing bass thing here. Now let's move the orb. And it'll slow down if I have the inertia down. Let's turn the inertia up. So it's really fun to use. And if you don't like what it's doing, you just hit the dice and it comes up with something brand new. Check this out. It's even instantiating effects, entire racks of effects. Pretty cool, right? So now I have a sound that nobody else has, right? And it just happened. No programming, no futzing around. So this is incredible stuff. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna record a couple bar pattern in here because I can also record my movements. So. Cool. Okay, now let's go ahead and lash that guy. And let's go to a new part. And let's add a little shaker part here. Okay, and now it's got its own orb. one of these has its own orb patterns, right? Because there's 8 orbs. That recorded one we did, remember that? This nice and slow one, and then this real spastic one I just did. So that gives you just a little idea of what we are up to with Omnisphere 1.5. This is an incredibly huge update. We've got tons and tons of brand new sounds. You get the orb, all the new synthesis features, and the Omni TR iPad app, and all of this is free to registered users. So thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.